Did the pioneer of analytical psychology actually discover a map to the afterlife during his final moments of consciousness? What if the end of our heartbeat is simply the beginning of a far more vivid reality? Carl Jung, a titan of the human mind, reported startling insights regarding the spiritual transition awaiting every living being. From celestial visions to a total restructuring of time, his findings disrupt standard views on our mortality. Stay with us because these revelations might permanently alter your perspective on your own existence. Before we dive deeper, please subscribe to Shadow of Minds if you value this exploration. Your support helps us investigate the profound mysteries of the psyche. This isn't a theological sermon or an occultist's daydream. It is the testimony of a scientist who crossed the threshold and returned with profound clarity. His name was Carl Jung, and he witnessed the truths we only whisper about in the dark. Jung wasn't some charismatic guru. He was a meticulous Swiss physician known for his depth and intellectual rigor. Yet, in 1944, a massive heart attack triggered a shift that reshaped his entire worldview. As he lay dying in a sterile hospital bed, Jung felt his spirit detaching from his physical frame. This wasn't a hallucination or a meditative state. It felt more tangible than the room itself. He noted that his worldly concerns were being stripped away like old layers of clothing. The illusions of physical life simply dissolved. Looking down, he saw the hospital staff laboring over his body while he floated into a vast expanse. Suddenly, he entered a realm without borders, a place he identified as the primary void of all creation. No sound echoed there, yet he possessed absolute understanding. Knowledge wasn't processed through language, but arrived as immediate, total comprehension. Within this silent space, he encountered other sentient forces, beings of pure awareness. While they lacked human faces, a deep sense of mutual recognition pulsed between them. Death is not an ending, but a return to our original light. Jung described this as inhabiting a sphere of infinite wisdom. During this state, he experienced what he termed the life panorama. This wasn't a trial or a sentencing, but a moment of absolute self-honesty. He watched his life unfold like an immersive tapestry, where he felt every impact he ever had on others. He wasn't just observing his actions, he was experiencing the ripple effects of his kindness and his silence alike. Nothing remained concealed. He realized he was the sum total of his choices. This was just the portal to something even greater. The transition from the physical to the metaphysical was not merely a change in location, but a fundamental change in being. Jung realized that our earthly perception is like looking through a keyhole. Once the door is opened, the landscape is infinite. This vastness did not terrify him. Instead, it offered a profound sense of relief. He saw that the ego, which we protect so fiercely in life, is merely a temporary mask. Behind that mask is the true self, an eternal spark that has never been separate from the source of all existence. If you are still watching, your spirit is likely seeking these deeper truths. Following his recovery, Jung found the transition back to Earth incredibly difficult. He felt like he was waking up into a shallow dream, returning to a restrictive shell after experiencing true freedom. He frequently remarked that our daily life is merely a temporary classroom for the soul. During his journey, he didn't just drift, he witnessed specific structures. He saw luminous landscapes that resembled ethereal cities, arranged in various layers of frequency. Every soul gravitated toward a specific level based on its own inner resonance or spiritual weight. There is no external judge, Jung confided to his inner circle. You simply land where your vibration naturally pulls you. Without your social status or your name, you are seen exactly as you are. Jung learned that the soul preserves the essence of our intentions rather than our outward trophies. If a heart was filled with deceit, it felt like lead. If filled with compassion, it felt like flight. This isn't a final verdict, however. It is a cosmic invitation to evolve and return to the source. He spoke of seeing souls preparing for their next descent into the physical world. This wasn't a forced labor, but a passionate symphony of energy. These spirits chose to embrace the limitations of flesh once again, to refine their light through human experience. He observed that the process of reincarnation was not a punishment, but a strategic choice made by the soul to learn specific lessons that can only be taught through the density of matter. Earth, in Jung's vision, was a specialized laboratory for the development of consciousness. We are here to learn how to hold the tension of opposites, good and evil, light and shadow, joy and sorrow. By navigating these polarities, the soul gains a richness of character that is impossible to achieve in a realm of pure light. Jung realized we aren't random accidents. Each of us is a deliberate choice. You are here because you possess a specific quality that can only be polished by the friction of earthly life. This is where the revelation becomes truly personal. Jung didn't demand belief, he encouraged remembrance. People didn't just hear his words, they felt a resonance in their very bones. Sometimes the intensity of these memories brought him to tears. Our everyday reality began to seem like a thin veil compared to the weight of that other side. The real challenge, he noted, is living with this knowledge while the world remains asleep. If humanity remembered its true origin, the terror of the grave would vanish. Death is merely a graduation into a more authentic state of being, but what specifically happens during that final breath? In his private records, Jung detailed the exact mechanics of the transition. He didn't describe it as a violent break, but as a profound release. It is the long-awaited exhale after a lifetime of holding your breath. In that moment, your perspective expands. You are still you, but the filters of pain and ego are gone. Initially, you might see your physical surroundings, but they feel like a discarded garment. Then a magnetic presence begins to pull you, not a blinding glare, but a welcoming warmth. This warmth was not just a sensation, it was an intelligence. It was the presence of the collective unconscious, the deep well of human experience and wisdom that connects us all. Jung saw that our individual lives are like waves on an ocean, distinct for a moment, but always part of the same vast body of water. When we die, the wave returns to the ocean, carrying with it the unique experience of its journey. Jung claimed we are met by entities of pure presence rather than relatives with names. You feel them like a love that requires no evidence. It is a homecoming to a place you never truly left. This reunion leads to the ultimate moment of clarity. Without the shield of excuses, you face the question, did I become the person I was meant to be? Some souls, he observed, hesitate. They are tethered by regrets or material obsessions, lingering in a neutral zone of gray light. They stay in this corridor until they are ready to release their attachments. Beyond these initial stages, the journey moves toward a vibrant frequency. You don't climb a ladder, you remember your own height. As you shed the false, you become the truth. Jung's voice would often drop to a whisper when describing the final stage, the great silence. This isn't a void of nothingness, but a void of everything. Here, individual identity merges back into the collective source. I cannot find the syllables to describe it, Jung admitted. It is the point where the drop of water realizes it has always been the ocean. However, reaching this peak requires a total letting go. Many of us carry anchors of resentment or the fear of being insignificant. We cling to our wounds as if they define us. Jung saw celestial helpers acting as mirrors, reminding these lost souls that they are far greater than their earthly traumas. These helpers were not gods in the traditional sense, but reflections of the soul's own inherent divinity. They were the personification of the archetypes, the fundamental patterns of meaning that govern the universe. Jung understood that the afterlife is not a place where we are judged by an external deity, but a place where we finally judge ourselves with the clarity of a god. It is a state of total transparency where nothing can be hidden and nothing needs to be. Even when we are confused or afraid at the end, the light never stops searching for its spark. Many spirits, upon seeing the truth, actually desire to return to earth. They realize that life isn't a sentence of suffering, but a rare opportunity for growth. You are not a body searching for purpose, but purpose taking form. We plan our challenges and our families to ensure we face exactly what we need for our awakening. Nothing in your life is a mistake, not the pain, and certainly not the timing of your encounters. Everything reflects the script your soul wrote before you arrived. Jung often spoke in paradoxes because the truth exceeds our logic. Our linear understanding of time and space falls apart in the presence of the eternal. He saw that the past, present, and future are all happening simultaneously in a great now. This means that even as you are living your life on Earth, a part of you is already on the other side, and another part is planning your next adventure. We are multi-dimensional beings inhabiting a single-dimensional reality. The significance isn't what awaits us after the heart stops, but how we wake up while it's still beating. There is no extinction, only a change of scenery. The most difficult task isn't dying, it's being brave enough to be yourself. Jung provided a map of the spirit, marking the crossroads where we lose our way and the gardens where we find it. He believed the soul's greatest agony is forgetting its divine nature. Most people drift through life in a trance because they fear the magnitude of their own light. But waking up is the entire point of this journey. Jung didn't care for rigid dogmas. He simply urged us to be the light in the shadows. He understood that the path to the divine is not through religious ritual, but through the process of individuation, the journey of becoming who we truly are. This involves integrating our shadow, embracing our unique gifts, and recognizing our connection to the whole. When we live authentically, we are already living in the afterlife, for we are aligned with the eternal principles of the soul. No soul is ever truly lost, regardless of how it departs this world. Every person is a specific calling, an answer to an ancient cosmic prayer. In his final days, Jung wrote of a soul returning to the source and weeping with joy upon realizing how deeply it had been loved throughout its entire struggle. We all have a moment when the mundane cracks and the eternal breakthrough. All that is asked is that we stop running and listen to the whisper. This whisper is the voice of the daemon, the inner guide that Jung spoke of so often. It is the voice that tells us when we are off track and nudges us back toward our true purpose. It is the same voice that will greet us when we cross the threshold. By learning to listen to it now, we prepare ourselves for the ultimate transition. We begin to see that the world is not a prison, but a playground for the spirit. This video appearing on your screen is not a coincidence. It is a signal that you are already navigating your way back to the truth. If a part of you stirred while listening, don't ignore that feeling. Somewhere inside you already know these secrets. Share this message with someone who needs to remember their own light. I will see you where the physical ends and the eternal begins. Thank you for exploring the depths with Shadow of Minds. If this resonated, like the video and join our community. As we conclude this journey into the mind of Carl Jung, reflect on the idea that your life is a sacred geometry. Every tragedy, every triumph, and every mundane moment is a line being drawn in a masterpiece that only becomes visible from a higher perspective. You are the architect, the builder, and the resident of your own soul. The map Jung discovered isn't just for the dead, it's a compass for the living. It reminds us that we are never alone, never forgotten, and never truly finished. The story of your soul is as vast as the universe itself, and today is just one page in a book that never ends. Let us consider the implications of living as if we already knew the ending. How would you treat your neighbor if you knew you would feel their pain as your own in the life panorama? How would you pursue your dreams if you knew they were the very reason you chose to be born? Jung's revelation is a call to radical responsibility and radical love. It asks us to look past the superficial differences of race, religion, and status to see the shared light that connects us all. In the silence that follows this video, take a moment to breathe, feel the weight of your body, the beat of your heart, and the quiet presence of your consciousness. This is the miracle. This is the intersection of the human and the divine. You are standing on the edge of the infinite every single day. Jung didn't just tell us what happens after death, he told us how to truly live before it. He showed us that the soul is not something we gain after we die, but something we carry with us every step of the way. We invite you to stay curious, to stay open, and to continue your own journey of individuation. The mysteries of the mind are endless, and we are honored to be your companion on this path. Look for the signs, trust the process, and remember that you are a vital part of the cosmic symphony. The light you seek is the same light that is seeking you. Until next time, keep exploring the shadows, for that is where the most brilliant truths are often hidden. The legacy of Carl Jung continues to challenge and inspire us. His work bridges the gap between science and spirituality, providing a language for the experiences that words often fail to capture. In an era of materialism and disconnection, his message is more relevant than ever. It reminds us that there is a deeper reality, a hidden order, and a profound meaning to our existence. By honoring his insights, we honor our own potential for awakening. Think of the great silence not as an absence of sound, but as the presence of peace. It is the destination we all seek, the home we all long for. But that home is not a place in the sky. It is a state of being within. Jung found it in the depths of his own psyche, and so can you. The map is in your hands, the path is before you, and the destination is guaranteed. Every step you take in awareness is a step toward that original light. Thank you for your time, your attention, and your courage to look into the unknown. Shadow of Minds is a community of seekers, and your presence here strengthens our collective search for truth. If you have your own stories of synchronicity or spiritual awakening, please share them in the comments below. Your experiences are the data points in our shared understanding of the soul. Together, we are piecing together the map of the human spirit. As the screen fades to black, remember Jung's final message: be the light. In every interaction, in every thought, and in every action, choose the frequency of love. For that is the only thing that remains when the world falls away. That is the only thing you carry across the threshold. That is the only thing that truly matters. Walk in peace, live in truth, and never forget who you are. The journey continues, and the best is yet to come. The soul is eternal, and so are you.